What if everything you've been taught about learning is actually holding you back? The frustration of studying for hours, only to forget everything when it matters most. The endless cycle of cramming and forgetting. The quiet panic when someone asks you to explain something you learned just weeks ago. Let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some people can master skills in months that take others years? Why certain individuals seem to absorb knowledge like a sponge while you're still struggling with the basics? It's not about intelligence. It's not about talent. It's about method. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 critical mistakes that are sabotaging your learning potential, and exactly how to fix them in the next 10 minutes. This isn't theory. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the difference between wasting years of your life or becoming unstoppable. Let's begin. Mistake number 1, passive consumption. Look around you. What do most people do when they want to learn something? They highlight textbooks. They watch YouTube videos on 1x speed. They nod along in lectures. They mistake exposure for mastery. But here's the brutal truth. Your brain doesn't care what you consumed. It only cares what you produced. Passive learning is the equivalent of watching someone work out and expecting to get stronger. It doesn't work. It has never worked, and it will never work. Your brain forms stronger neural connections when you actively retrieve information, not when you stare at it. Here's the fix. After every learning session, close the book. Turn off the video. Put down your notes. Then explain what you just learned as if you're teaching it to someone who knows nothing about the subject. Do this out loud. Use simple language. If you can't explain it clearly, you haven't learned it. This is called the Feynman Technique, named after Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman. It forces your brain to reorganize information in a way that's coherent and meaningful. But there's more to it. Create flashcards for key concepts. Test yourself randomly throughout the day. Write summaries in your own words. Draw mind maps connecting ideas. The moment you shift from consumer to creator, everything changes. Your retention jumps from 20% to 90%. Your understanding deepens. And suddenly, you're not just memorizing information, you're owning it. Mistake number 2, marathon sessions. Let me guess. When deadlines approach, you lock yourself in a room for hours, maybe even pulling all-nighters to cram as much as possible. You think longer sessions mean more learning. You couldn't be more wrong. Your brain isn't designed for marathon learning. It's designed for sprints. Research from cognitive science is crystal clear on this. Spaced repetition outperforms massed practice every single time. Here's what happens during those long sessions. After about 30 minutes, your focus begins to deteriorate. After an hour, your ability to retain new information drops by nearly 60%. And after 2 hours, you're basically wasting your time. The fix is simple, but requires discipline. Break your learning into 25 to 30-minute focused blocks. Take a 5-minute break between each block. After completing 4 blocks, take a longer 30-minute break. This is called the Pomodoro Technique, and it works because it aligns with your brain's natural attention cycle. But timing alone isn't enough. You need to space your learning over days and weeks. Study a topic today, review it tomorrow, then again in 3 days, then in a week. Each time you retrieve that information after nearly forgetting it, you forge stronger neural pathways. This isn't about convenience. This is about biology. Your brain physically changes when you space your learning. Most people won't do this because it feels inefficient, but that feeling is the biggest lie in education. The path to mastery isn't cramming, it's consistency. Mistake number 3, linear progression. Open any textbook, take any course. What do you notice? They're structured linearly. Chapter 1, then Chapter 2, then Chapter 3. They assume knowledge builds like a brick wall, one layer at a time. But that's not how your brain works. Your brain learns through connections, not sequences. When you study in a perfectly organized manner, you're training yourself to recall information only in that same perfect order. The real world doesn't quiz you chronologically. The fix requires you to deliberately disrupt your learning pattern. Mix different subjects or topics in the same study session. This is called interleaving, and research shows it improves long-term retention by up to 215%. If you're learning a language, don't drill the same type of phrases for an hour. Mix vocabulary with grammar, listening with speaking, formal with informal expressions. If you're studying math, don't do 50 problems of the same type. Do 10 problems across 5 different concepts. It will feel harder. You'll make more mistakes. Good. That struggle is your brain forming stronger, more versatile neural connections. When learning feels easy, you're doing it wrong. When learning feels difficult, that's when your brain is growing. Most education systems are designed for short-term performance, not long-term mastery. That's why so many A students struggle in real-world applications. They learned for the test, not for life. You have a choice. Learn for convenience now and struggle later, or embrace the discomfort now and thrive forever. Mistake number 4, ignoring biological prime time. Think about the last time you tried to learn something important. What time of day was it? Was it when you had the most mental energy? Or was it whenever you could find the time? Most people completely ignore their biological rhythms when scheduling learning sessions. They try to memorize complex formulas at 11 p.m. after a full day of mental exertion. They attempt to absorb new concepts when their brain glucose levels are at their lowest. They fight against their biology, and then wonder why learning feels so hard. Here's the fix. Track your energy levels hourly for 1 week. Rate your mental clarity from 1 to 10 throughout the day. You'll notice patterns. Most people have a 2 to 3 hour window of peak cognitive performance. For some, it's early morning. For others, it's late evening. Whatever your pattern is, protect those hours religiously. Schedule your most challenging learning during your biological prime time. Save administrative or review tasks for your low energy periods. This isn't about preference. This is about leverage. 1 hour of learning during your peak is worth 3 hours during your trough. But there's more to biological optimization. Sleep is non-negotiable. Your brain consolidates learning during deep sleep cycles. 1 night of poor sleep can reduce your learning capacity by up to 40%. Hydration directly impacts cognitive function. Even mild dehydration impairs attention and memory. Exercise increases BDNF, a protein that stimulates new neuron growth. A 30-minute workout before studying can improve retention by up to 20%. Most people view these biological factors as separate from learning. They're not separate, they're the foundation. Mistake number 5, emotional disconnection. Here's something they don't teach in school. Your emotional state is the gatekeeper of your learning capacity. Information without emotion is like water on glass. It slides right off. Think about something you learned years ago that you still remember perfectly. I guarantee it has emotional significance attached to it. When you're stressed, anxious, or bored, your amygdala essentially blocks information from reaching your long-term memory. It's a biological safety mechanism designed to prioritize survival over growth. The fix requires intentionally engineering your emotional state. Before each learning session, take 2 minutes to clarify why this knowledge matters to you personally. Not why it should matter, not why others think it matters, why it matters to you. Connect it to your goals, your identity, your future. Create curiosity by asking questions about the material before you begin. How could this concept solve problems in my life? What would change if I mastered this skill? How could I use this knowledge in unexpected ways? Questions prime your brain to seek answers. They create an information gap that your mind wants to fill. Use the 5-year technique to amplify motivation. Visualize how mastering this knowledge will benefit your life in 5 years. Be specific. See the details. Feel the emotions. Your brain can't distinguish between vividly imagined futures and reality. By creating emotional connections to learning, you're essentially hacking your neurochemistry. Information with emotional significance gets prioritized in memory consolidation. It receives preferential treatment in your neural networks. This isn't optional. This is how your brain was designed to work. The implementation plan. Now you know the 5 critical mistakes that have been sabotaging your learning potential, but knowledge without action is useless. So here's exactly what you're going to do starting today. After every learning session, spend 5 minutes teaching what you learned out loud. Record yourself if possible. Review the recording to identify gaps in your understanding. Download a Pomodoro timer app right now. Set it for 25-minute focus sessions with 5-minute breaks. Commit to never studying for more than 30 minutes without a break again. Tonight, create a learning schedule that deliberately mixes different topics or aspects of the same subject. Embrace the confusion. Welcome the struggle. Track your energy levels tomorrow. Note when you feel most mentally sharp. Rearrange your schedule to place your most challenging learning tasks during those hours. Before your next study session, take 2 minutes to write down why this knowledge matters to you personally and how it connects to your future goals. These 5 changes will transform your learning capacity within days, not years. But here's the thing about transformational change. Everyone wants it. Few achieve it. The difference isn't knowledge. The difference is implementation. Most people will watch this video, nod in agreement, and continue learning exactly as they did before. They'll return to highlighting textbooks, they'll keep cramming before deadlines, they'll ignore their biological rhythms, and they'll wonder why they're still struggling. But you're not most people. You're here because you sensed something wasn't working. You were right. You're here because you're ready to transform how you learn, how you grow, how you evolve. This isn't just about learning faster. This is about becoming the person who can master anything, the person who can adapt to any challenge, the person who doesn't just survive in a rapidly changing world, but thrives in it. The methods I've shared today aren't just learning techniques, they're life techniques, because in a world where the only constant is change, the ultimate power is the ability to learn. Fix how you learn, and you fix everything. The choice is yours. What will you do with the next 10 minutes?